Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another Rockies Daily. I'm your host, Scott Ayers, where we're talking all things Colorado Rockies, and we've got a fun show in store. A bit of a wacky intro for a wacky day because the Colorado Rockies are taking on Team USA, and I, for one, am excited to see what this game has in store. And we start by Kyle Freeland making his spring debut for the Colorado Rockies. Freeland, who will be 33 in May, makes his debut against the team he pitched for in 2023. Now Freeland not going to be on Team USA. Some pretty good names pitching for the U.S. this year. And for Kyle Freeland, this is a guy who has just been dealing with some back spasms. Want to take some time to ramp up in the spring. And now he's going to get an opportunity, as well as the rest of this Rockies team will get an opportunity to just get a better feel for playing probably the second best team, maybe the best team. Depends on how you look at it. In this World Baseball Classic, you could argue either the U.S. or Japan. They feel like a 1-2. Japan, of course, winning the last World Baseball Classic. So for Freeland, it's a great way. Hey, you know what? We know you're ramping up. How about in your first appearance, you're going to face just about all of the best hitters in Major League Baseball in a singular game. And what's nice, too, is for Freeland, he's obviously going to have some time to ramp up after this, right? Like, this isn't going to be his only appearance in the spring before the season starts. So he'll get some time to really kind of lock in before the season goes. But it should be exciting to see, and it should be exciting to see what these Rockies are capable of against Team USA, who just beat the Giants 15-1. So it could be ugly, and that's okay. What I want to see, though, are just how different guys will look. I would love to see Charlie Condon, Rumfield, Kyle Karros, Ryan Ritter, some of these younger guys that we've mentioned that have actually looked good this spring. I do want to see how they can actually play against Team USA, and obviously just rotate through some of the different guys that have had looks so far this spring. I'm curious about the bullpen and what they will be able to do, because you will be most likely facing Aaron Judge and company. Judge did play today, so it is interesting because it's in the spring. There are guys who could rest. This could age poorly, and Harper and Judge and all those guys rest. But regardless, the Team USA is going to throw out some pretty big names. And so for the Rockies, it's just a matter of I guess, kind of getting a feel for what they actually have, because you're playing against much better competition than what you've faced so far. I also hope that it's just an opportunity for Alan Leichman, and that we can see kind of this mad scientist of what he is cooking up. It's obviously on a much smaller scale, but would love to see just to see something there. But overall, for the Rockies, this is just a sweet opportunity. It is a chance to play against some of the best. Not very often do you get to play in a game like this, even with it being spring training. So excited for Kyle Freeland. Excited just for this team as a whole. But ultimately, looking at some of those younger batters who have looked solid so far in the spring, and see what they're capable of, because they're going to be facing pitches that are probably far more difficult than anything that they've seen so far. But overall, should be fun to watch. We'll obviously give a breakdown, some of the key takeaways. That's been the hardest part this spring. Is it's hard to actually find a place to be able to watch the games, and so to actually be able to watch and see how it all goes down is pretty exciting. I'll actually be at the game. All right, folks. So I will give you in-depth coverage, taking notes from the first pitch to the final one. And if it's a bloodbath, there won't be too many notes. Probably like 2 or 3. But regardless, You get the point. The Rockies take on Team USA today at 1:10. So be ready. Go Rockies, and we will see what they are capable of. But let's talk about something that will have an impact on the regular season, and that's figuring out who's going to be in this final rotation spot for the Rockies. Barring anything crazy from happening, there's 4 spots that feel pretty well locked up, which leaves the Rockies with just one spot, right? Because they signed Sugano, they signed Quintana, and they signed Michael Lorenzen. There's 3 guys right there. Kyle Freeland obviously being the 4th. So right now, I would say it's down to kind of 3 guys: Chase Dollander, Ryan Feltner, and Tanner Gordon. And truthfully, I think I would rather see Dollander or Tanner Gordon, at least to start this year. The sample size is small right now, and a lot can happen. I just like that both Dollander and Gordon are just younger guys, and Dollander's now had 2 appearances. He has a 2.25 ERA in just 4 innings pitched. As a pair of strikeouts, Feltner, in his last appearance against the Royals, I mean, he got blasted, and that only means so much in the spring because, again, we've noted it. A lot of these guys are just figuring out different pitch types. They're trying different pitches. That being said, 2 2/3 with 3 Ks. I think the bigger issue here is 4 walks, and just 2 2/3. Give up runs in the spring, so be it. But you want to make sure you have solid control. And those 4 walks are a bit concerning. Tanner Gordon just has 1 appearance, 4 Ks and 2 innings pitched, just 1 hit, no earned runs. And so for this pitching battle, it's going to be very interesting to see what the Rockies decide to do. They had this clear idea and motivation to get a bunch of vets because of how bad last year was. But these are older veterans, and these are guys that will probably miss time at some point this year. There's a chance that some of these veterans might get just pulled because they are struggling to pitch at Coors Field, i.e. looking at Sugano, who I think a lot of us are a little nervous about to see how he'll perform with the Rockies. So there will be more opportunities, right? Like they name Ryan Feltner the guy to start the season. Tanner Gordon and Chase Dollander are going to get appearances. It's just a matter of when. But there is something to be said about earning that 5th in rotation spot to start the year. I really would love to see Dollander in that 5th spot, truthfully. He's just part of this group of young guys that the Rockies really need to develop into being solid pieces. And Dollander has a lot of assets to make himself a pillar for the Rockies. Even if 2026 isn't expected to be a good season, you can still hopefully develop some of these guys. Dollander and Gordon feel like more pieces that you can develop. Feltner, he's not old, but he is 29, so it's not like he's this youthful pitcher that is heading into his prime. He's already probably there in his prime. So I wouldn't be surprised if Feltner's even a guy that the Rockies could consider trading later on in the year, just depending on what they are looking to do. And he definitely still has some value. So we'll see. We'll see, though. There's obviously guys behind them as well. But I think for right now, that 5th and final rotation spot will come down to one of these 3. In the next few weeks, we will have a better understanding and a better view of what that will be. You just hope all these guys stay healthy. That's the biggest thing in the spring is just stay healthy, raise that floor, and just have the best guys be the ones that you're throwing out there every single day. And so it's the 5th and final rotation spot. But I think especially for Dollander and Gordon, they're guys that could very, very much be, Dollander especially, top of the rotation type of pieces. So exciting to follow this spring. It's hard because it's just again, a small sample size, a few innings pitched. You can only take so much from that. But that's why I'm here, to give you those kind of takes, to say, hey, here's what I'm thinking. And what I'm thinking is Chase Dollander being that fifth and final guy. And finally, let's end today's show. Let's end with some news about who some call a Rockies legend. Not me, but some. Jurickson Profar suspended again, and this time he's going to get a full season suspension, 162-game suspension, for being caught using PEDs once again. He was caught last March, and now he was caught again. So for Profar, obviously, he's an older player. He's trying to stay relevant for the Braves, but man, it is crazy to me when these players have already been caught once. So they know what they're doing. They're not getting away with it. And Profar did say, I didn't know what I was using was a PED. We don't know how truthful that statement is, but we've heard that line from multiple people's books. I had no idea that I would just grow into this behemoth in my forearms. I had no idea that that's what this Advil would do to me. But alas, 162 games for Profar, and we'll see where his career goes from there. But yeah, not great. And you see it. You see that phrase often from guys who are not caught for the first time, and even those who are caught for the first time. I had no idea that needle they were putting in my butt was gonna be containing PEDs. I had no idea. Regardless, you get the point. It's just one of the things that you'll see from time to time at Major League Baseball. Profar, now the newest and latest example. 162 games. He'll be back in 2027. We'll see if he ever signs with it, or if he comes back with a team. But regardless, that does it for another Rockies Daily. It's a shorter show. We have to get you on your way to that game against Team USA. The Rockies, Kyle Freeland and company, taking on Team USA. Going to be hopefully an exciting game. There's a chance it gets ugly, though. But that does it. I'm Scott Ayers. Thank you so much for watching. Please make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. Really, really appreciate your support. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you tomorrow.